number 2, with the topic traveling and studying abroad. I'm Ella. I hope you still remember me, who'll be hosting today's session. And this event is proudly presented to you by the English Language Education Study Program, or PBI Universitas Sanata Dharma, Yogyakarta. If last week we had 3 stunning ladies, today we have another stunning lady and 2 gentlemen. They are 3 wonderful PBI alumni who, I should say, have a great love of learning and experiencing new things. They were scholarship hunters and fighters who have won opportunities to study and to work abroad. All right, we shall begin today's webinar by listening to a brief opening speech from our vice chairperson, our new vice chairperson. For your information, last week the chair was Ibu Yohana Veniranda, but starting this month we have the new chair of PBI, Ibu Tri. However, Ibu Tri is having another meeting, so she cannot be with us at the moment. So the new vice chairperson of PBI, Ibu Heni Herawati, PhD, or Ibu Heni will give the speech. Bu Heni, are you ready, Bu Heni?
Yes, Bu Ella.
Yeah, time is yours, Bu Heni.
Thank you, Bu Ella. So, hello everyone. Welcome to our second Upward Mobility webinar series. I hope all of you are in good health and are as excited as I am to listen to more alumni sharing in today's session. Upward Mobility is an annual event organized by Pendidikan Bahasa Inggris Universitas Sanata Dharma to connect alumni and their juniors. The aim is for the alumni to give back, to share their experiences after graduating from PBI. And for the students and fresh graduates of PBI to broaden and enrich their perspectives about the world and about the opportunities out there. This year, this event has to be done online, but the silver line is with the online mode, we can invite more alumni to share. On behalf of PBI, I would like to thank our 3 inspiring alumni for today's session, Mbak Dionisia Stella, Mas Vendika Aji Prawisma, and Mas Berlin Adi Pranitya. Thank you so much for your willingness and enthusiasm to share with your juniors about studying abroad. And for students and graduates who are attending this webinar, stay tuned till the end of today's session because you will definitely learn a lot from the information and experiences shared by our speakers today. Please also stay till the end because to fill in the exit ticket, you have to answer a few questions related to today's topic. Ask questions in the YouTube chat room as well and share your testimony in your IG. There will be prizes for that, for the winners. So lastly, I would like to thank Bu Rina, Pak Thomas, Bu Ella, Bu Mega, and also Mas Agri, Mbak Uki, and Mbak Nanda for making this webinar happen. So enjoy the talks, everyone, and thank you. Back to you, Bu Ella.
Thank you, Bu Heni, for the opening speech, and thank you for letting us know that we will have door prizes again, yeah? So guys, last week we had 3 winners of the door prizes. If I'm not mistaken, they were Gatra, Yohan, and one more was Echa. Okay, so they were very lucky to get the prizes. But if you were not lucky last week, don't worry, you will still have a chance to win the prizes. So what are the door prizes? They are still the same as last week's door prizes. First, we have 2 Dialogues magazine for 2 persons who post the best questions on YouTube chat room. So if you have any questions, feel free to post your question on YouTube chat room And please don't forget to use the format, your Instagram account, space, your question. Because if you don't mention your Instagram account, we will disqualify you, so you cannot get the prize. So please post as many questions as possible. Who knows, you are the lucky one to get the latest edition of Dialogue magazine. And not only that, I am sure a lot of you are sobat GoFood like me. If you are running out of your GoPay credits, don't worry. You can win a 50,000 GoPay top up by posting an Instagram story on your personal account. But you should say something about this upward mobility webinar. For example, your impression about the events or the speaker, what you learned from it, can also be your reflection, yeah, and so on. Please make sure that you make it as creative as possible. You can edit it first, you can provide a picture, you can decorate it using fancy stickers, and please don't forget to mention PBI's Instagram account at PBI Sanata Dharma. Okay, I repeat. So please mention our Instagram account at PBI Sanata Dharma and provide the hashtag. Hashtag crafting your future pets. Crafting your future pets. You can see it on the screen, yeah? And you can start doing it now, yeah, from now until 8 p.m. tonight. And the winners will be announced on PBI's Instagram around 8:30 tonight, okay? So you have around 4 hours to do it. It's more than enough time. Okay, I think everyone is so excited to start the talk. Let's not wait any longer. I will go to the first speaker, Mbak Stella. I'm Ella and she's Stella. How are you, Stella? Mbak Stella?
Hi, Miss. I'm great. I'm great.
You're great. Okay, before this webinar started, I asked her what time it is there. It's around 10, yeah, Mbak, yeah?
Yeah, it's now
And in the
10
morning.
in the morning. Yeah.
In the
Mhm.
morning?
Yes, in the
Yeah,
morning.
so for your information, Mbak Stella is now in the UK. Okay, before we listen to her presentation, let me first introduce you to this beautiful, I'm
Yes.
sure you agree with me, yeah, and multi-talented lady, Mbak Stella from batch 2013. So Mbak Stella, her complete name is Sionisia Stella. She's a master student studying TESOL, which is short for Teaching English to Speakers of Other Languages, in the University of Southampton, England. She is an LPDP scholarship awardee, wow. And at the moment she's working on her dissertation in the area of language learning. And her passion to teach and learn more about English pedagogy have brought her to the UK. And her presentation today is entitled My Journey to Study Abroad. Wow. I think everyone cannot wait to start listening to the presentation. So, Mbak Stella, are you ready?
Yes.
Yeah, so the
Mhm.
floor is yours.
Thank you so much, Miss Ella, for uh, letting me and for having me in this very beautiful occasion. Mhm. And shall I start? Yeah.
Yes, please. Yeah.
Yes. Okay. Hi, ladies and gentlemen. How are you? I hope that you are safe and healthy wherever you are, whether you are in your hometown, whether you are in still in your kos-kosan. I hope that you are happy. And thank you very much for having me in this very beautiful occasion, Upward Mobility webinar. And I am Stella. I am the alumnus of ILSP Sanata Dharma University in batch 2013. And right now I'm studying in the University of Southampton, England. And today I would like to share with you guys my journey to study abroad. So a little background about me. My name is Dionysia Stella Ayu Saputri. I am graduated from from ILSP Sanata Dharma University in 2018, and I was awarded as one of the best graduates in March period. And in the same year, I got an opportunity to continue pursuing my dreams to study abroad. And I got the scholarship from LPDP in 2018 to study TESOL in the University of Southampton, England. Maybe some of you are wondering, where is actually Southampton? Here in the screen, you can see this is the map of United Kingdom, and Southampton is located in the south coast of United Kingdom, where the pin is. Can you see that? The red pin. Southampton is also a home for Southampton Football Club. So we have one big stadium, it's called St. Mary's Stadium. And also it's a home for my university, the University of Southampton. So the right picture is my university. But guys, before telling you about how my life as a student in the UK, I would like to share with you what drives me. When I wanted to pursue my dreams, I didn't start with a great success. No, I also started with some failures. I tried so many scholarship schemes, as you can see on the left. I tried Australia Awards, Chevening, Erasmus, but I got so many no's to my dream. I got rejected, but hey, we just don't know which door is open for us, don't we? So what I did at that time, I just kept trying, and eventually I got the opportunity from LPDP. And here, the picture on the right is me and my friends, my LPDP friends in the Ministry of International and Foreign Affairs on one of the days of our pre-departures. Maybe some of you are wondering, LPDP, what is LPDP she's talking about? Well, guys, LPDP is Lembaga Pengelola Dana Pendidikan. It is a government agency under Ministry of Finance, which gives scholarship to Indonesian students to pursue their dreams to get education from higher education within the country, and also abroad. But this scholarship is for master and also PhD. So if you are now still in your bachelor degree, one thing you need to do is study, focus on your study now, get good mark and graduate. And after that, you can apply for this scholarship. A lot of people, a lot of my friends have asked me about the quota of LPDP. One thing that I can say is a lot. A lot of people have been granted for this scholarship. This is the information that I got from www.lpdp.kemenq.go.id. Per this year, per 2020, there have been 24,000 24,000 plus people granted for the scholarship, 5,000 awardee affirmasi, and 9,000 alumni. Besides giving scholarship for master and doctoral degree, LPDP also give fund for research. So it's not only limited for getting a degree, but also research. So now I would like to share with you guys what I did personally to get this scholarship. But you know, you can follow what I did, but you can also take your own path because everyone has different strategies, I believe. And everything I share here is based on my personal experience. So what I did to get this scholarship There are four things that I did. Firstly, I set the goals. The picture on the left, the first picture is a paper sticked in my desk. I wrote that in 2015, and I always knew and I always wanted to be one of the people got scholarship from LPDP. So that's why I wrote it down in my desk. I set my dream and I knew what I want to achieve. After setting my dream, I think dreaming is not enough. You have to make some plan. So what I did is I made plan. I did some research about my field and why do I need to study abroad? Because there might be a lot of universities in Indonesia that offers the same program as what you want to take abroad, but why doing it abroad? Why you have to take it abroad? So that's one thing that we have to consider. And the next thing is be realistic. How are you going to contribute after you get the degree? That's also important. Be honest, be yourself. Don't be too dreamy, because I think it's also important to show the best of yourself. So yeah, and the last thing is keep yourself updated. Understand the latest issue and try to offer some solutions towards that. That's what I did. That's my personal strategies. And what about the selection process in 2018? Well, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to tell you that every year, LPDP keeps updating their rules. So for more information related to the scholarship, you can go online and visit their website at www.lpdp.kemenkeu.go.id, because everything is already there. Every information is already there. In 2018, I had four stages for the selection process. The first one is the administration, where I have to submit my application, the files, the certificates I got, and the transcript, everything I had. And also I submitted my IELTS score and also the letter of acceptance from University of Southampton. But at that time, it's actually not necessary to submit the LOA, but because I already had it, so I also submitted together with all the files I got. And after the administration, I got a notification that I can continue to the next stage, which is computer assisted test and on the spot essay writing. That's the second stage. After doing that test, and then I think I had to wait for around 2 weeks to get the next announcement who are going to go to the next stage. And after 2 weeks, I got that announcement that I can continue to interview and LGD. In the interview, I think I had interview and LGD leaderless group discussion on the same day. And interview is basically we will be interviewed by 3 people, by 3 interviewers. And in LGD, we are going to discuss some issues together with some students, and we had to give our solution towards that issue. So that's why I told you that we have to be solutive, and we have to keep ourselves updated. And all the selection process in 2018, I think it was around 4 months. It was around 4 months. And after that, because I remember the last day, the day I submitted all the files is somewhere in the middle of the year. And I got the announcement that I was accepted, that I was granted the scholarship in the 28th of December 2018. So it's around 4 months. Because I was accepted at the very end of the year, it means that I will go to take my master's degree in 2019. So last year, September last year. And for your information, to take master degree in the UK is normally only 1 year, 1 year. So it's really, really short. So next month, I am going to submit my dissertation. And wish me luck, guys, wish me luck. And that's it. That's basically it. Now, how does it feel to study in the University of Southampton? Well, there are a lot of benefits that I got from studying abroad. The first benefit is I can collaborate with amazing lecturers and students from other countries. Why I chose the University of Southampton at the first place is because there are a lot of famous researchers, famous theories in my, oh sorry, that's the ambulance. In my university, for example, Christopher Brumfitt, who's famous for communicative language teaching theory. If you know that, I believe you know that, because in PBI we will learn about CLT. And Christopher Brumfitt, he used to work in my university, and yeah, that's why. And he is really, really famous. That's why I chose this university. And there are a lot of linguists, such as Dr. Will Baker, Professor Jennifer Jenkins, working in English as a lingua franca, and they are great, they are amazing. And also Professor Rumiana Selbakova, Professor Laura Dominguez, focuses on second language acquisition. And here the first picture at the top is me and my friends presenting one of our mini research in second language acquisition. And we focus on Indonesian learners writing. So that's me in the class. And the second benefit that I got from studying abroad is I can expand my networking. Not only having friends from a lot of countries, from other countries, but I can also know people from big companies. So here, the picture at the bottom is me having dinner with two of my classmates, and also amazing people from Pearson, because my lecturer, she works for Pearson, developing their English testing. And at that time, we had a seminar with Pearson because they got invited to my university. We talked in the seminar, and I got invited to have a dinner with them. Yeah, so that's actually very interesting. That's a very interesting experience I got here. Besides that, studying abroad can also offer us many facilities and supports on research. Especially my university is one of the member of Russell Group. Russell Group is some universities, a group of universities that committed to support research. And at the moment, my university is involved in the development of vaccine for COVID-19, and also personal respirator for healthcare professional treating COVID-19 as well. So they had a lot of research. And the last thing I got from studying abroad is of course developing myself in terms of a lot, in terms of life skill, social skill, many things. When I first got here, I was preparing myself to adjust with the studying habits in the UK, because there are some different things when you go abroad. It's a little bit different when you study in Indonesia. So that's why I can say that we have to be adaptive to the studying habits when we go abroad. We have to be familiar with the grading system, with the writing style, with the language, with the way they read, they think. So, because especially in the UK, I only got 1 year to experience everything, experience the study, experience the education, the culture, and also the tradition. I also have to travel, I have to explore, I have to find new things, see a lot of things in such a very short time. So it's such a long list in such a short time. So we have to be prepared for that. And maybe you are wondering how do you study in the university? How how do you have the classes in in the university abroad? Mainly in my program, I have 3 classes that I have to attend. First is the lecture, where I have to study with a lot in a big class with a lot of students. And also secondly, tutorial. Tutorial is where a smaller group gather and we have smaller classes, and we normally we practice in that tutorial. And the last class I have to attend here is the seminar. Seminar is in my program is normally 1 seminar per week, where the school um,
Stella,
invites
sorry to
professor or
interrupt. You have 2 minutes left. Thank you.
okay, all right. So yeah, studying in the UK also apply blended learning, where I have to attend the class and also have online learning. Especially now in COVID, we went totally online. So we have to come to the class prepared, read some books before the class. And because in the class, we are going to think together with the lecturer and have discussion. All right, because I only have 2 minutes left, enough talking, let's now have some tour. So as you know, guys, I have showed you the picture, the map of United Kingdom, and Southampton is in the south coast. So we are really close to the ocean. We have ports, and the first picture is the port area, one of the port in Southampton. And the second picture is my favorite place. It's also near the ocean where I can see it and feed some birds. And here in the UK, although we have a very good transportation, public transportation, but I chose to bike because I think I have a lot more freedom and I don't have to wait for the bus. I don't have to see the schedule of the bus. So I love to bike. And don't worry about the food or the things that you have to buy here, because we have a lot of halal restaurants. And if you feel miss the taste of Asian food, we have a lot of Chinese restaurants. We also have malls, and we have very, very cheap fast fashion department store called Primark, and they are really cheap. But you know, sometimes cheap things that doesn't come with good quality, but that's all right. In Southampton, we have a lot of parks, and normally what I do in the weekend is I bike to a lot of parks and take some pictures, chilling, and yeah, just having some fresh air. And this is the picture of the street and also the town hall. And this is the area of my campus. The first picture is the University Road, where the main road to go to my university. And the second picture is one of the campus parks. And the last picture is my faculty, my school, where I have my classes before COVID. And this is the Christmas market in Southampton. They are very festive.
But Stella, sorry, can you wrap up your presentation? Sorry,
Surely, yes.
Stella, can you wrap up your presentation? Thank you.
So this is the last picture I have. This is PBI Southampton. And Yeah, that's all. That's all. One thing I can say to you guys is focus on what you want to achieve. Okay? So if you want to study abroad, focus. Thank you so much for having me, and you can drop me some queries if you want. That's my social media. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Mbak Stella. Thank you so much for sharing your
Mm-hmm.
experiences, especially how you could get the scholarship. It wasn't easy, right? Yeah, so
Yeah.
I agree with you that setting the goals is very important. I myself do that. So whenever I want to achieve something, I put it on a sticky notes, and then I put it on the corners that I can easily, find and read. So that helps us to stay focused, right? Thank you
Mm-hmm.
so much for the inspiration and for sharing all the experiences and how it feels to be a student in the University of Southampton. All right. So once again, I would like to remind everybody that if you have questions to Mas Della, Mas Pendi, and Mas Berlin, please do not hesitate to post it on YouTube chat room and use the format in your Instagram account, space your question. Yeah, because who knows, you will win a dialogue magazine for free. Okay. Right. Now, moving on to the second speaker, we have a gentleman finally, Mas Pendika Aji Prawisma. I am sure some of you are familiar with him because Mas Pendi also teaches in PBI. Mas Pendi, did you teach last semester in PBI, Mas Pendi?
Oh, yes, I had a
Yes.
CCU class.
Oh, CCU class. Okay, so let me now read a brief profile that Mas Pendi has. For your information, Mas Pendi looks like he is from batch 2017, yeah, but actually he's from batch 2007. Okay, and Mas Pendi graduated from Sanata Dharma in 2012, and he was a Fulbright FLTA at the University of Pennsylvania in the year of 2014 to 2015. And not only that, he also received his master's degree in education from the University of Montana. Do you know Hannah, Mas? Hannah
Yes,
Montana?
I know her so
Yeah.
well.
In 2017. And while pursuing his master's degree, Maspendi worked as an Indonesian teacher at the Defense Critical Language and Culture Program. Okay. And currently, he is the general coordinator of ILTIC, yeah, which is the Indonesian Language and Culture Intensive Course at Lembaga Bahasa Universitas Sanata Dharma. That's why students see him often, yeah, in LB or in PBI. And his presentation today is entitled Life Changing Experiences as a Graduate Teaching Assistant or GTA in the United States. Mas Wendy, are you ready to start your presentation? Because I
Yes.
cannot wait. Okay, so let's listen to Mas Wendy's presentation. You have 20 minutes, Mas Wendy.
Okay, thank you so much, Miss Ella, for introducing me to all participants here. You have watched an amazing presentation from Miss Stella about her journey in UK. Now it's time for me to share I can say my life-changing experiences as a GTA or graduate teaching assistant in the US. So as Miss Ella has mentioned before, I got my master's degree from the University of Montana. So I would like to share a little bit about the university first. Actually, the University of Montana is a public research university. It's kind of small university in Montana. For those who do not really know where Montana is, you can see the map here. And it is located in a city called Misola in Montana. It is actually the second largest city and metropolitan area in Montana. But actually, if it is compared to Yogyakarta, Misola is smaller and Yogyakarta has more people than Misola, so it is not really metropolitan. So this is my campus, and you can see the picture below is the city. And during my study there, I got the funding, I got the scholarship, or actually I can say it as TA-ship or teaching assistantship from DCLCP or Defense Critical Language and Culture Program. It is under Maureen and Mike Mansfield Center at the University of Montana. It is like a language institute. It's focusing on teaching critical languages. At that time, we had a Korean department and then Chinese Mandarin. We had Indonesian, of course. We had Arabic too. We had Persian, and we also had French department. And as a teaching assistant, I worked in the Indonesian department, and my students were U.S. military personnel, especially U.S. Army. They are the special forces. So TCLCP was the one who gave me funding for my scholarship. And I believe that some of you are questioning about my process in getting this scholarship or TA-ship. But I believe that my previous experience as Fulbright FLTA in 2014 and 2015 at the University of Pennsylvania widened my opportunity to get this scholarship. I got information at that time from my friends who were actually also one of the Fulbright grantee at that time. So I can say that networking played an important role for me in getting the scholarship. And the process that I had was a bit quicker than other scholarships. It took less than 3 months, if I'm not mistaken. At that time, after I got the information, after finishing the Fulbright FLTA program, I did a research first about the university and the funding that I got. I found some information about the university. I had to find some information about the course that they offered and many others. And then after that, I made a quick decision, and then I decided to submit the application in July 2015, if I'm not mistaken. And what I submitted at that time were application letter and then CV, personal statement, and then reference letters from my previous employers, from my colleagues, and from my, I don't know, I forgot. I think from my from other uh, Fulbright FLTA grantees at that time. And then after submitting the documents at that time, maybe for about 1 week, I got a call for the interview schedule and also micro teaching. So I did the interview and micro teaching together. I did make micro teaching because they wanted me to teach there. So they needed to know my teaching abilities and also teaching capabilities. So I did micro teaching in front of them. And then for about 2 weeks after that, I got a good news that I was accepted for the program. And since then, I started my student visa application process. And then I departed to the US in the end of August 2015. So it's pretty quick, less than 3 months. And actually on the plane, when I flew to the US at that time, I kept questioning, did I make the right choice? Because, it was a quick decision because that's only 2 months after finishing the first program. But after arriving there, and then I realized that, oh, that's the best decision that I made that time. And that's about the process that I encountered for my TA-ship. Now my experiences as a student or GTA while in Montana. In terms of the academic thing, the first semester I was there, my status was as a non-degree student because I got the funding first at that time, and then I still needed to apply to the graduate school for my degree. So I took CNI or curriculum and instruction for my major. And actually for international students, for the first semester, we had to take English class, but it can be waived. So I waived the English class at the time, and they approved my request because I had experience for 1 year studying in the USA before. So I waived that, and then uh, I met my supervisor too. Uh, we met in a regular sessions, talking about my future plan, my academic progress, and so on. And for my major, I should take around 36 credits, or about uh, 9 courses, if I'm not mistaken. And besides having the academic life as a student, I also joined some non-academic activities. Like we had a program called Misola International Friendship Program, in which international students will be paired with local families or local people in Misola based on the same interests, or based on the same hobbies, or sometimes based on the same age, or based on the student's request itself. And interestingly, Misola is in the middle of nowhere, but they have a Balinese gamelan group called Manik Harum. The members were, at that time, were mostly local music teacher who are interested in playing the instrument, and also interested in learning about Balinese culture. So I can say that Bali is more popular than Indonesia in Misola. And usually the group perform the gamelan in the city events. For example, during the New Year event, or St. Patrick's Day, or Summer Festival, or Day of the Death, and many others. And usually they perform it in a parade. So they played the instruments while walking around the city. So you can imagine how hard it is. And besides that, I also joined some activities such as a volunteer in Writing Coaches of Montana, which we helped elementary students in writing, and also maybe some high school students in writing too. And badminton club, where I met another friends from different parts of the world. I had also some outdoor activities because Montana is well known for their outdoor activities. For example, hiking, snowshoeing, floating on the river, skiing, and many others. And International Festival, we had two, usually once a year. And that's about the non-academic activities. And then as a GTA or teaching assistants, it's quite tough because during the school day, I should work 4 hours per day. So I work part-time from Monday to Friday. It can be from 8 to 12 or from 1 to 5. And during the summertime, I can work full-time at a time. So for about 8 hours per day. And my tasks were teaching the language, of course, I also designed some materials, some lessons. I joined some training. I manage some cultural activities, outdoor activities for the students. And in the CLCP, most of the classes were conducted online. So we had distance learning through VTC. So about 90% or 95% of our classes were conducted online. So because the students were in different locations. We were in Montana, and the students were in Washington. And after finishing my TA-ship, I got an opportunity to take OPT. It is optional practical training, usually for 1 year. But for STEM field, for science, technical, engineering, and math, it can be extended up to 2 years. So with OPT, students are allowed to work on related field legally. So because my major at that time was language teaching, so I could still work in DCLCP to teach the student legally for a year. And then during my OPT time, I was based in I was placed in Joint Base Lewis McChord, or GBLM. So I worked directly with the students. I moved to different city or even different state. So from Montana to Washington, it is about 15 minutes or 50 minutes from Seattle. Actually, that's a very interesting experience for me to work in the base, in military base. I can show you the pictures of the base. I cannot take pictures there. Therefore, I just grab some picture from Google. That's the map of the base and some of the military personnel there. And the classroom that we had in the CLCP looked like this. So only one teacher in one room, while the students will be in different places. So we had two TVs, we had VTCs there, and the students had like unique chair over there. That's like specific chair for military. Okay, that's about the base and the classroom that I had at that time. And now the challenges. Of course, during my time in Montana and as well in Washington, I encountered a lot of challenges in academic things because I should encounter a new habits, new study habits, then I should bear with these kinds of challenges. For example, we had a lot of readings and assignments. Usually I spend my weekdays in the library after class, maybe up to midnight or 1 a.m. sometimes because the library closes at 1 a.m. And another challenge, the University of Montana is kind of small university, so they only offer limited options for the course. And I also work with students from various backgrounds of studies, from teachers itself and up to the dentist or even psychologist, because the major that I took at that time was kind of general major for curriculum studies. And for the non-academic parts, as I said before, Misola is a small town. Yeah, everything is small in Montana. Even Misola is also small there. So we had limited public transport. We had a small community, no big Indonesian community. At that time, we had only 11 Indonesian students, I think, 3 from Java and 8 students from Papua, because Papua government has what uh, what collaboration and cooperation with the university itself to send some students from Papua to study in the University of Montana. And not many Asian groceries. That's also a challenge for me. Not, not many foreigners too. And I should deal with a tax return, with insurance, with finance. It's very complicated for international students to work on this thing every year. And then bears, bears, winter, and fire are also challenges for me. Bears, because yeah, they have a lot of grizzly bears there in the forest. And then the winter is also harsh there. It can take up to 5 months from November to May. And then we also have fire during the summer. So it's a full package of challenges at that time. And as a GTA, the challenge that I encountered, teaching military personals a bit challenging and different because they had like specific target. Their personalities are different. Their characteristics are different to the regular university students. And also, I should adjust my course schedule with my teaching schedule in the CLCP. So I should be wise in choosing the course that I want at that time. And online teaching was also a challenge for me because that was my first time in using VTC in having distance learning in language teaching. So the technology itself, I should be adjusted to it. And then while in the base, they had very strict regulation. So I should do a lot of paperwork every month just to enter the base because not everyone can enter the base. Must be a military related person. Okay, that's the challenge that I had. Now, what the benefits? Of course, by having the scholarship, I got a free
Mas
tuition.
Fendi,
Yeah,
Mas Fendi, sorry to jump in. You have 2 minutes left. Thank you.
okay, free tuition for my study, and then I still got my monthly stipend, and also for experiences. Uh, I could improve my academic competence. I had more opportunities to explore the wildlife, outdoor activities, national parks, reservations. In terms of cultures, I was exposed to different sides of the US and to a lot of diversities there. I got my driver's license to there, and then I had chances to travel in the US. I learned a lot about military life, and of course, I could build my network too. And then the last things, I think for you who wants to for you who wants to apply for the scholarship, these are the tips for you. Please do a small research before applying any kinds of scholarship that you want. You can do a research about the university, about the program that you want, about the scholarship that you want to apply for, and make sure that you meet the requirements. How? By building your CV, by having more experiences, and also submit the documents needed in time. You must state your goals or objectives or personal statements or whatever you said clearly, and you must follow the SMART criteria. So your goals must be specific, measurable, must be achievable, must be realistic, and must be uh, timely. Yeah, and then for the reference letter, you must find the right person for it. It can be your former employers, it can be from your colleagues, it can be from someone who knows your performance very well. The one who knows your performance the one who knows your abilities, and don't forget to show that you are qualified. Do a lot of interview practices, and also this is very important to have a TOEFL score or IELTS score, because for TA ships, the deadline is different to LPDP or Fulbright or other scholarships. So you must have the document ready with you. So if you haven't had one, you can take TOEFL score, TOEFL test or IELTS, and make sure to renew your test score regularly. And if you are interested to taking other US scholarship, you can visit those websites. Well, if you are interested in taking Fulbright scholarship, you can visit Aminef website or LPDP or Study USA, or for TA ship, for teaching assistantship, you must visit the university websites regularly. Check and study about their employment opportunities. Yeah, I think that's all from me. I hope that everything is clear, and I hope that you guys like it, and it is. I hope that you can get something beneficial from my presentation. I give back to you, Miss Ella.
Thank you, Mas Fendi. Of course, it's very beneficial for everyone who is watching this presentation. You gave a lot of tips to those who want to try applying for scholarships. You have also provided us with beautiful pictures of the US. So thank you very much, Mas Fendi. Okay, so guys, are you still on? Whether you are currently rebahan, yeah, or working on other stuff
You're
while
welcome.
viewing this video, let me remind you again that you still have the opportunity to win a 50,000 rupiahs GoPay top up by posting an Instagram story saying about Upward Mobility webinar session 2. Make it as interesting as possible, and don't forget to mention at PBI Sanata Dharma and provide the hashtag crafting your future paths. Okay, crafting your future paths. All right. Okay, we still have another speaker, last but not least. Yeah, another gentleman, Mas Berlin Adi Pranedia from batch 2008. If the previous speakers talk about their experiences in studying abroad and winning a scholarship to study abroad, but if you think that's not your goal, if you want to work abroad instead of studying, and if you don't want to pursue a higher degree, but if you would like to get an experience of working abroad, this is the answer. So, Mas Berlin, checking if you're ready.
Yep, I'm
Yes,
ready.
okay. Yeah, let me first introduce Mas Berlin to all the viewers. So, Mas Berlin works as a Bahasa Indonesia instructor at Wisma Bahasa. It's quite close to our Merican campus. It's a prestigious language institution in Yogyakarta, and he has been teaching Bahasa Indonesia since 2013. He just finished FLTA program at Indiana University to share the beauty of the Indonesian language and to advance a true understanding of the language and culture. And his presentation is entitled Being a Language and Cultural Ambassador for Fulbright Foreign Language Teaching Assistant. Okay, Mas Berlin, time is yours.
Okay, thank you, Miss Ella. Hello, everyone. Thank you, PBI and the Committee of Upward Mobility for giving me the chance, the opportunity to share about my program, Foreign Language Teaching Assistant. I'm gonna share something here. Okay, I hope you can see the screen clearly. So, as Miss Ella said, I just got back, or I just finished my program called Fulbright Foreign Language Teaching Assistant. So as you can see, it's a foreign language teaching assistant. On this picture, you can see there are 14 FLTAs. So I'm one of 14 FLTAs that got the opportunity to teach in American universities, But before we enter the topic of FLTA, I want to briefly introduce myself. So my name is Berin Adi Pranedia. I work at Wisma Bahasa Yogyakarta since 2013, and I work at Indiana University for around 10 months, not even 1 year, so for 2 semesters at Indiana University in Bloomington, Indiana, in the US. So this is the program. The program is called Fulbright Foreign Language Teaching Assistant, or FLTA. So the objective of the program is to teach Indonesian for 1 academic year at an American university. This is a short-term program and it's a non-degree program. So you will not get some sort of ijazah after you finish this program. And it goes for 1 academic year, 2 semesters, and you're expected to work or to teach around 20 hours per week. But you can also get the opportunity of taking 2 courses or 2 classes per semester. So you get to teach Bahasa Indonesia to students in American University, and you also will get the opportunity to take classes there, either for credit or for audit. If you want to take a look for further or more detailed information about the program, you can access this link. You can go to Aminef website, go to Grants for Indonesians, and here you can see FLTA program. So here I want to show you the timeline of the program. This is tricky because you cannot see this timeline on the website, and this timeline might slightly change year to year. And this is what made me and my friends in my batch felt really galau, because we didn't know each step or every step of the selection process. So I want to share here. You can submit your application before April 15. If you go to the end, I went to the US on August 10 the following year. So the whole selection process took a very long time. Yeah, it's more than 1 year, but the program is only for 2 semesters. But the steps of the application is you're gonna submit your application, and then you will get the first announcement a few months after the deadline. It's in July 11th, and then you will have your interview in August 1st. It's interview plus UKBI. So UKBI is Uji Kemahiran Berbahasa Indonesia. If you go to the US for a master degree or PhD, you might not have to take this one. But since we're going to teach Bahasa Indonesia at the university, we have to take Uji Kemahiran Berbahasa Indonesia. So I would recommend you to take a look at what UKBI is before you apply for this program. And then after that, you will get your interview result on August 21st. And then when you get this announcement, you will also get assigned to write some essays that you can submit on September 14. And don't worry, Aminef and Fulbright also will give you a mentor. So this mentor will also help you in giving feedback or helping you to proofread your essay before you submit it to Fulbright. And then short after that, you will have to take a TOEFL test. So when you submit your application, of course, you need to ready to have a TOEFL or IELTS test. But Aminef will also give you another opportunity to take TOEFL test. And then here's the thing, after September 29th, if you see here, the next process is matching process in February 28th. So it's almost half a year for you to wait for, what's next, like what happened with my application. So this is this I give this timeline to you so you can see that you only need to wait and be patient, right? So in this matching process, Aminef or Fulbright will give you selection of universities that you can rank. In my batch 2019-2020, they gave me 7 universities to rank from number 1 to number 7. So maybe different from other scholarship program where maybe you can apply for one specific university. In this program, you can't. So you can rank them, but it's up to them whether you're going to be placed in New York, for example, or in Arizona. So you never know. So you can only hope for the best, yeah. And then a few months after that, you will get terms of appointment. This is some sort of a contract from the university. And also you will have information about the placement. So where are you going to go for this program? So all of us feel very relieved and glad after this process, because during the whole process, every time you have an announcement or updates email from Fulbright, they always say, you get into this selection process doesn't mean that you're getting the program. So after you get placement or you get the university, now you can feel relief or a little bit glad, like, yes, so I'm getting in. And then after that, a month after that, you will have a pre-departure orientation and visa interview. So you will meet some alumni who will share their experience. And you will also do a micro teaching for Bahasa Indonesia, because this program is for English teachers and also Bahasa Indonesia teachers. So maybe some of you don't have the experience of teaching Bahasa Indonesia untuk penutur asing, but that's fine, because we're going to have a training and also micro teaching during the pre-departure orientation. And finally, based on my experience, in August 10, and I get to go to the US. So again, this is merely based on my personal experience. It might be slightly different for future candidates, but it's worth to take a look at. So a little bit of tips and trick for you who wants to apply for this program. Number one is be patient, sabar ya, because the whole selection process takes a long time. So you can wait, and while waiting, I want to highlight this number 4. While waiting, you can prepare what you want to share during the program, because you will not only teach Bahasa Indonesia, the language, but you also represent someone from Indonesia that maybe people in that university have never met someone from Indonesia before. So that's why the theme or the title of my presentation is to be the ambassador, the cultural ambassador of Indonesia. So you can prepare, maybe you can learn how to play musical instruments, traditional musical instruments. You can learn how to dance traditional dance or sing traditional songs. You can also take pictures or videos of your hometown. If you live in Jogja, you can take a video of Malioboro or Tugu, which would be a very good materials to be shared to your students in your university later. So that's what I kind of regret, because I didn't do that before I went for this program. For point 2 and 3, I think it goes without saying, you have to know your essays inside out. You have to know what you have written and what you submit to them. And don't forget to practice your interview. You can contact me, you can contact other alumni or current grantees what Fulbright or Amin have asked during the interview, because it will be more or less the same, and you can have practice with your friends maybe to answer their questions. And prepare yourself both mentally and physically. I think from what Stella and Mas Fendi already shared, that you will have a lot of challenges there, including maybe the climate, the weather, the food, different communities, different kind of environments, and you have to adapt. So make sure before you go with this program, you prepare yourself and you're 100% ready for this. So now these are the university that work with FLTA in my batch 2019 and 2020. So FLTA work with so many different university and colleges in the US. From my batch 2019 and 2020, there are almost 400 FLTAs from various countries. Luckily for Indonesian FLTA, we get to teach in very big universities. Like you can see where we had Harvard and Yale, Columbia, and UPenn, where Mas Fendi went in the past, and also other big universities. For me, I went to Indiana universities. So where is Indiana? Indiana is in the Midwest, in the middle of the US. If you watch Stranger Things or Parks and Recs, series from Netflix, they take place in Indiana. And Indiana University is in a small town called Bloomington. It's a relatively small town compared to Jogja. There are only 80,000 people who live there, and almost half of that 80,000 is either faculty staff or Indiana University students. So here I want to share a little bit about Indiana University. So at Indiana University, I work with Hamilton Luger School of Global and International Studies. And Indiana University is one of the biggest university for foreign language teaching. As you can see here in Indiana University, we teach more than 80 foreign languages, everything from Akan to Zulu. Those are two examples of African languages. So that number, that's more than any university in the United States. This can be a big opportunity for you who are going to Indiana University because you will be involved in a really big community of language teachers and experts. But this is also a challenge if you want to teach Bahasa Indonesia because there are more than 80 foreign languages that you have to compete. So you have to actively promote Bahasa Indonesia and Indonesian culture. As you can see in this picture, it's a very beautiful scenery of Sample Gates. It's the gate in front of Indiana University. And Indiana University is also one of the most beautiful universities in the US. It's really close to lakes or to hills. It's a very good place for you who love outdoor activities. So being an FLTA at Indiana University or in other universities as well, you might be a primary instructor or as an assistant. So even though the title is teaching assistant, but there is a possibility that you will be a primary instructor. Like me, in my case, I was the primary instructor of Bahasa Indonesia at IU. So your job or the task is basically to do everything. So if the Bahasa Indonesia course in the university is already well established, that's good for you because you will have a syllabi or curriculum to follow, and then you can add more course materials or your own materials. But in this case, I was the second FLTA at Indiana University. So I had to make a lot of adaptation to improve the quality of teaching materials for Bahasa Indonesia. And beside teaching Bahasa Indonesia in class, I also had to construct extracurricular activities for my students or for anyone who wants to learn about Indonesia, about the language, or about the culture. So I organized small events like a coffee table or hospitality hour where people in my town can visit and can see information about Indonesia and learn a little bit about Indonesian language, drink Indonesian coffee. So something simple like that. Also, as I told you before, besides teaching or working, you can also take some courses or some classes. So here, these are the examples of the courses that I took during my program. So during fall semester 2019, I took teaching less commonly taught languages and advanced study in foreign language teaching. This is a very interesting experience for me because at Indiana University, there are 10 FLTAs, including me. So there are 9 other FLTAs from 9 different countries. So in this class, because we had micro teaching sessions like what we had in PBI, I also learned a little bit about those 9 other languages. That's a very interesting experience for me. And then for my second semester during spring 2020, I took diversity and multiculturalism in the US and gender and international human rights class, which was also interesting because I was the only foreign student in that class. So I get to share so many things about Indonesia, especially about gender issues and international human rights. So this is an example. This picture is an example of this is me and my friend who are Thai FLTA and Myanmar FLTA. We perform traditional performance in International Night School project. It's a primary school in Bloomington in my town, and we get to share information about our countries and Southeast Asian countries in general to primary school kids, and they get to watch our performances as well. And these are the pictures of my class, my classes there. So as you can see here, we learn about food and go to a warung. And in this picture, they were doing a role play about going to Bali on a car, naik mobil ke Bali. And then this one, so as we know, we had the pandemic COVID in the in the beginning of March. So right after spring break, we have to shift everything to online media, right? So we used Zoom here. And if you can see on this screen, we were learning about senam, aktivitas senam. So there are instructions like lompat, jongkok. So even though we're doing everything online at that time, but we try to make it fun instead of just sitting in front of a computer, we still get to do some physical activities and fun games and activities. Because I'm a very active teacher, so it's really hard for me to teach online because normally I almost never sit in class. I would always go here and there. I use a lot of gestures. I draw a lot in class. So this is also how I learn to be more adaptive and creative in teaching or delivering the material. One of the very amazing experiences that I have is FLTA Mid-Year Conference in Washington, D.C. So even though I live in Indiana, in Bloomington, in a small town in the Midwest, doesn't matter where you live or where you teach during your FLTA program, you still get to go to Washington, D.C. for a conference. So you will meet all of the other FLTAs. So almost 400 of us were in the same room joining the conference and also performing some traditional performances. So during the mid-year conference, Fulbright will select 10 countries to perform some sort of dance or songs or playing music or whatever. So FLTA from each country can submit a proposal, and if you get selected.
Sorry, Mas Berlin, sorry that I
Yep.
jumped in. You have 2 minutes left. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. And you get to perform your performance during the conference. So this is all of us in the same room at that time. And also you get to explore different cities around Washington, D.C. because Fulbright pay for everything. So you get to travel during the conference or after the conference in December. So talking about the challenges that you see in this program, maybe it's a little bit similar to what Mas Fendi already shared. Culture shock, of course, if you live in different countries, you will have culture shock, either about food, weather, work environment, communities. But also in this program, because the duration of the programs is very short, so it's kind of tricky or it's hard to adapt to a new working or teaching environment. And also you have to learn how to use the LMS or learning management system where you have to do everything. You do attendance list, you submit your materials, you do grading, using one of these LMS. In my case, I used Canvas in Indiana. So what to gain from this program? Of course, yeah, you can gain perspectives on important issues in the world because you will see other FLTS from other countries as well. You get to establish network, and you can do collaborative research with either other grantees or professors or instructors in your universities. You get to experience the education system in the US, and this is I highly recommend you to do this. You can submit your proposal, your paper, your research to be presented at international conferences or consortiums. So I think that's all from me. If you have further questions about FLTA, about this program from Fulbright, you can contact me on my email or Instagram. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mas Berlin. You manage your time very well. So from Mas Berlin, we learned that studying and working abroad means that we are being the cultural ambassador, yeah, or a representative of our country. So that's an important thing. Okay, as we have listened to the three eye-opening presentations, we shall now move on to the Q&A session. So thank you for those who already posted the questions on YouTube. We received a lot of questions. Uh, if you don't mind, to the speakers, if you don't mind, if some of the questions are directed personally to you, you can also help us typing the answers in the comment box. All right, but I would select some general questions that can be answered by the three speakers. I am sure that experiencing culture shock, yeah, is something usual, yeah, if we study or work abroad. So how did you cope with the culture shock? So this question is to the three speakers. We will start from Mbak Stella.
Hi,
Mbak
yeah.
Stella?
Mm,
Yes.
mhm. Culture shock. Yeah, I think what I experienced here when the first time I came to the UK is the way we study in the university. That's really different, I think, and um, especially when I had to read a lot of books and journals before coming to the class. I have to come to the class prepared, and that's totally different because in Indonesia I haven't got used to that learning habit. So that's what I did. I tried to be adaptive really quickly, and I just tried to read more, and as well as find some good friends that we can have some discussions, and we can help each other in learning in the university. I think that's all.
All right, thank you. Yeah, thank you, Mbak Stella. What about Mas Fendi? Do you want to
Uh,
add something?
yeah, I think what I had is similar to what Mbak Stella had. Yeah, I made some local friends. I studied a lot about their cultures, about the diversities, if any. I talked to the other students, and then I get involved with the local community, and also uh, I I needed to find some healthy distraction, meaning I should entertain myself with the things that I face at that time.
Oh, yeah. Thank you so much, Mas Fendi. Mas Berlin?
Yeah, about culture shock.
Yes, Mas
Yes.
Fendi. Sorry, Mas
So
Berlin. Yeah.
I didn't really have that big impact from culture shock. One of my problems was probably food, because in Bloomington I couldn't really find the ingredients to cook the food that I normally eat. In Indonesia, I actually found a place to find chili in my last month there. So I survived 9 months without chili. But
Wow.
beside that, what I did was in terms of community or to adapt with different culture, just be open-minded and don't feel like what you experience this far in your country is the most correct one, and be careful with giving comments or sharing your perspective. You have to be sensitive when you share your perspective with other people, and you have to appreciate or respect if it's different from your view.
Okay, thank you. So the key was to be open-minded, ya Mas ya. Okay,
Yep.
and open to other circles because sometimes, based on my experience, Indonesian students, a lot of them tend to get along with Indonesian communities and not challenge themselves to get along with other international students or local students. So that's a very good, actually, that's a very good, what is it, experience uh, in order to help us cope with the culture shock, of course. All right. Thank you. Do we still have time for another question? Okay, one more question. This is an interesting question, I should say, because it is asking about the certain amount of money we should prepare. Yeah, because before we apply for the scholarship, we need to, let's say, do an IELTS test or an ITP test, or probably there are other requirements that are needed. So from your experience, how much should we prepare in our bank account? Thank you. Anyone can jump in? Anyone? Yeah.
Maybe me. Mhm.
Yes, Mbak Stella,
Starting,
please.
yeah, maybe, yeah. Okay, so basically, LPDP will provide everything for you, starting from the ticket to go from Indonesia to your destination, and then the visa, the health insurance, and the tuition fee, and even every month we will be granted some money, and we have to manage it ourselves for the living allowance. But before getting all those funds, I had to pay for my own IELTS test, and that was around 3 million, I think. Yeah, and I had to pay for the visa and for the health insurance first, and they are going to reimburse that money. And I think at that time that was around 15 million. So that was quite a lot of money, but in no time LPDP will give you the reimburse for the visa and health insurance. Basically that's all. Mhm.
Okay, but you just had to pay it first, right?
Yes,
And they would
yes,
reimburse it.
yeah.
Okay, yeah, thank you. What about Fulbright? If we want to apply for FLTA, Mas Fendi and Mas Berlin?
For me, based on my experience, I didn't really spend much because the same with LPDP, maybe Fulbright, or I mean, I've paid for everything, including right after the first announcement, if you get selected for the interview, and all the selection process after that, they will pay for everything, for your tickets, for your hotel or accommodation when you're in Jakarta or in other big cities. So for me, I just spend money for the TOEFL test that I use in my application in the very first stage of the application process, and then after that, I didn't really spend anything. So
Okay, thank you. So not much, yeah. ITP is now around 500,000 rupees, right? 550.
mhm,
Am I
mhm.
right? Yeah. But if you have to take IELTS, yeah, just
So
Sorry, I just lost my connection. Didn't know what happened. Okay, sorry about that. So I think we have now come to the end of Okay, sorry again. I'm not sure what is happening with my connection. Okay, so now we have come to the end of this upward mobility. Before saying goodbye, here I share the exit ticket as one of the requirements for you to get an e-certificate. Please fill out the form by going to this link and scanning the QR code. The link is also posted on YouTube, and the link is only available until 6:30. In 1 hour. So please submit the form ASAP. The e-certificate will be sent to your email address within 1 week. So if you haven't got it today or tomorrow, please be patient because we need some time to proceed with the certificates. Next Thursday will be the latest. And about the door prize, the Dialogue magazines for 2 people and the GoPay top up, the winners will be announced via Instagram later tonight. So don't miss the announcement. I am also calling you all guys to join our last session of Upward Mobility webinar next week on Thursday at 4 p.m. because we are going to discuss a topic, a very interesting one, English teaching experience in non-school institution. Okay, so don't forget to register yourself and don't miss the show. You can find further information on PBI's Instagram post. Okay. Okay, so probably you still have a lot of questions that you want to address to the three speakers. Is that okay if some of the students later contact you three via Instagram DM? Probably. Is that okay?
Sure.
Sure, totally.
Yeah, yes, yeah, thank you. So, if you still have a lot of or some questions to the speakers, please feel free to contact them, send them some direct message, and I'm sure they will be happy to help you with the questions. Okay, so that's it for today. Thank you so much for watching. Stay happy, stay healthy, and see you next week.